My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines where the sun don't ever shine. I'll shiver all night. My girl, where did you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I shiver all night. Her husband was a hard-working man, killed a mile and a half from me. His head was found in a driving wheel. His body never was found. My girl, where will you go? Said I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I shiver all night. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where you sleep last night. Tell me, where did you sleep last night?
Smokey the Bear Sutra. Once in the Jurassic, about 150 million years ago, the great sun Buddha, in his corner of the infinite void, gave a discourse to all the assembled elements and energies, to the standing beings, the walking beings, the flying beings, and the sitting beings, even the grasses to the number of 13 billion, each one born from a seed, assembled there, a discourse concerning enlightenment on the planet Earth. In some future time, there will be a continent called America. It will have great centers of power called such as Pyramid, Walden Pond, Mount Rainier, Big Sur, Everglades, and so forth. And powerful nerves and channels such as Columbia River, Mississippi River, and Grand Canyon. Human race in that era will get into trouble all over its head and practically break everything in spite of its own strong, intelligent Buddha nature. The twisting strata of the great mountains and pulsings of volcanoes are my love, burning deep in the air. My obstinate compassion is schist and basalt and granite to be mountains to bring down the rain. In that future American era, I shall enter a new form, to cure the world with marvelous knowledge that seeks with blind hunger and mindless rage, eating food that will not kill it. And he showed himself in his true form of Smokey the Bear, a handsome coloured brown bear standing on his hind legs, showing that he is aroused and watchful, bearing in his right paw the shovel that digs to the truth beneath appearances, cuts the roots of useless attachments, and filling damp sand on the fires of greed and war. His left paw in the mudra of comradely display indicates that all creatures have the full right to live to their limits, and that deer, rabbits, chipmunks, snakes, dandelions, and lizards all grow in the realms of the Dharma. Wearing the blue work overalls symbolic of slaves and laborers, the countless men oppressed by civilizations that claim to save often destroys. Wearing the broad-brimmed hat of the West, symbolic of the forces that guard the wilderness, which is the natural state of the Dharma and the true path of man on earth. All true path leads to the mountains, where a halo of smoke and flame behind, and the forest fires of the Kali Yuga, fires caused by the stupidity of those who think things can be gained and lost, whereas in truth all is contained, vast and free in the blue sky and green earth of one mind. Brown belly to show his kind nature, and that the great earth is good enough for everyone who loves her and trusts her. His left paw in the mudra of comradely display, indicating that all creatures have the full right to live to their limits, and that of deer, rabbits, chipmunks, and snakes, dandelions, and lizards all grow in the realm of the Dharma. Wearing the blue work overalls, symbolic of slaves and laborers, the countless men oppressed by civilization that claims to save but often destroys. Wearing the broad-brimmed hat of the West, symbolic of the forces that guard the wilderness, which is the natural state of the Dharma and the true path of man on earth. All true paths lead to the mountains, with a halo of smoke and flame behind, the forest fires of Kali Yuga, fires caused by the stupidity of those who think things can be gained and lost, whereas in truth all is contained, vast and free in the blue sky and green earth of one mind. Brown belly to show his kind nature, and that the great earth is good enough for everyone who loves her and trusts her. Trampling underfoot wasteful freeways and needless suburbs, smashing the worms of capitalism and totalitarianism, indicating the tasks his followers, becoming free of cars, houses, canned food, universities, and shoes, master of the three mysteries of their own body, speech, and mind, and fearlessly chop down the rotten trees and prune out the sick limbs of this country, America, and then burn the leftover trash. Wrathful but calm, austere but common, Smokey the Bear will eliminate those who would help him, but for those who would hinder him or slander them, he will put them out. Thus his great mantra, Nama, Sama, Vajranam, Chanda, Mahar, Ushana, Shvatya, Vintraka, Ham, Man. I dedicate myself to the universal diamond. Be this raging fury be destroyed, and who will protect those who love the woods and rivers, gods and animals, hobos and madmen, prisoners and sick people, musicians, playful women, and hopeful children. And if anyone is threatened by advertising, air pollution, television, or the police, they should chant Smokey the Bear's war spell. Drown their butts, flush their butts, drown their butts, flush their butts, and Smokey the Bear will surely appear to put the enemy out with his Vajra shuffle. Now those who recite this sutra and then try to put into practice will accumulate merit as countless as the sands of the Arizona and Nevada, will help save the planet Earth from total oil slip, will enter the age of harmony of man and nature, will win the tender love and caresses of men, women, and beasts, while always have ripened blackberries to eat, and a sunny spot under the pine tree to sit at. And in the end, we will win the highest, perfect enlightenment. Thus, we have heard.
Wears his warm wig in an hour, and mountains and minutes press his feet between his skull.
This is a song, The Wild Mushroom, to the tune of the Buffalo Skinners, in memory of the great mushroom year of the fall of '72. Well, the sunset rays are a-shining, me and Kai have got our tools. A basket and a trowel and a book with all the rules. Don't ever pick bolitas if the tube mouths they are red. Stay away from the amanitas or brother you are dead. Sometimes they are already rotten or the stalks are broken off, where the deer have knocked them over while turning up the duff. We set out in the forest to seek the wild mushroom, in shapes diverse and colorful, shining through the woodland gloom. If you look out under trees or around an old pine stump, you can see a mushroom's a-comin' by the way the leaves are humped. They send out multiple fibers through the roots and sod. Some make you mighty sick, they say, or bring you close to God. So here's to the mushroom family, a far-flung friendly plan. For food, for fun, for poison, they are a help to man.
Out of the underbrush a bobcat bursts, chasing a house cat. Crash, yowl, silence. Pine pollen settles again.
8 sandbars on the Takano River from the backcountry. Well watered, cool in summer, warm in winter. White radish root, a foot long, lies dark dirt hole, green top, her son, cherry blossoms. The farmer never looks up. The woman serves sake. The tourists are sick or asleep. Gone wild, strawberry vine. Each year more small, sour, most about pine. Jerry Snyder, thank you.
The present moment that lives on to become long ago.
Old Woman Nature, the Jerry Snyder poem from Axe Standards, read by Debbie Tosin. Old Woman Nature naturally has a bag of bones, tucked away somewhere, a whole room full of bones, a scattering of hair and cartilage, bits in the woods, a flat stack with hair and a tooth in it, a shell mound of a bone flake in a swing bag, a purring cat crunching the mouse head first, eating on down toward the tail. The sweet old woman, calmly gathering firewood in the moon. Don't be shocked. She's feeding you some soup.
You who come from my village ought to know its affairs. The day you passed the silk window, had the chilled plum bloom?
Logging, Section 12, from Myths and Texts. A green limb hangs in the crotch of a silver snag. Above the cats, the skitters and thudding brush, hundreds of butterflies flit through the pines. You shall live in square gray houses in a barren land, and beside those square gray houses you shall starve. Drinkswater, who saw a vision. At the high and lonely center of the earth, where Crazy Horse went to watch the morning star, and the four-legged people, the creeping people, the standing people, and the flying people know how to talk. I ought to have eaten whale tongue with them, They keep saying I used to be a human being, he at whose voice the ravens sit on the sea, sea foam washing the limpets and barnacles rattling the gravel beach, salmon up creek, bear on the bank, wild duck over the mountains weaving in a long south flight, the land of sea and fir tree with the pine-dry sage-flat country to the east. Han Shan could have lived here, and no scissor-bill stooge of the emperor would have come trying to steal his last poor shred of sense. On the wooded coast, eating oysters, looking off towards China and Japan. If you're going to work these woods, don't want nothing that can't be left out in the rain.
Sikhs and Punjabis, tired of looking at Japan, put their heads between their knees and sleep.
Paul Richmond, Gary Snyder's poem, She Dreamed, from Left Out in the Rain. She dreamed she was a cougar, a panther, a great cat bounding, as she is, young, slim, no apparel, a wild cat like that. In the dark, in the night, feeling the rap of his paw, making the turn, springing aside, right, left, bounding and curving, long loins stretched out behind, graceful tail arcing, and following as she pulled. As we walked on a dark mountain road, her eyes laughed as she danced, how she leaped in the dream as she showed me. Later, back under the shelter, we pulled up in the corner. I kissed her small nipples and bit her a little, and we growled and purred.
In every house there is a wife. In every wife there is a womb. In every womb there is a waif. In every waif there is a whale. In every whale there is a will.
The Feathered Road. On a clear spring windless day, sea calm, the mountains sharp against the sky, an old man stopped in a sandy seashore pine grove, lost in the still, clear beauty, tracing a delicate scent. He found a splendid robe of feathers hanging on a bough. Robe over his arm, he heard alarm. Stop! And there he saw a shining lady, naked from her swim. Without my feathered robe, that useless to you, a human robe, I cannot home, I cannot fly, she cried. And for a dance, he gave it back. A dance. She wore it glinting in the sun, pine shadow breeze, fluttering light sleeves. Old man watching saw all he dreamed in youth, the endless springtime, morning beauty of the world as she, dancing, rose, slow floating over the pines, high beyond the hills, a golden speck in a blue sky haze.
Sitting on the dusty, dry-leaf, cracking ground, freeway Nimbus South, black walnut shape, cross-legged hop, exchanging rooms.
As for Poets from Turtle Island by Gary Snyder. The earth poets who write small poems need help from no man. The air poets play out the swiftest gales and sometimes loll in the eddies, poem after poem curling back on the same thrust. At 50 below, fuel oil won't flow and propane stays in the tank. Fire poets burn at absolute zero, fossil love pumped back up. The first water poet stayed down 6 years. He was covered with seaweed. The life in his poem left millions of tiny different tracks, crisscrossing through the mud. With the sun and moon in his belly, the space poet sleeps. No end to the sky, but his poems, like wild geese, fly off the edge. A mind poet stays in the house. The house is empty, and it has no walls. The poem is seen from all sides, everywhere, all at once.
Cars, wrecked, washed, strewn through the desert, trash, space, ironwood, limbs lit by the moon, mesquite twig, breathe, cars, rusting to death while alive.
No nature, Kushiwakobi. Did it come from the Ice Age lakes and streams, flows of liquid rock, the salt of seas, wind on hills for years, this day's sun and trees? Or this one knows. The smell in the bark of Jeffrey Pine, my nose poked in the bark, went a million years, sweet smell of pine, delicious, like pineapple. What did the Paiute children think of, smelling the Kushiwakobi? What did they say? Sun glittering on obsidian, wind on 100 peaks, hugging a tree, smelling the bark. I thought I heard Kushiwakobi, a soft voice from across, from the dust, from the breeze.
White, shining boulders in the sunlight, and water gathered in the gorge, and whirled in every grain of sand. To step into this flowing with a suit on would be a sin.
Bugs through haircut like rays. High sea wind and double mirrors, calendar of splendid alpine scene, scared harbor and stained white harbor blown, sat down old man, summer's lit all gray, San Francisco day. I walked right in Howard Street, haircut a $1.25. Just put the clothes and let me go. Now why you wanna cut your hair back like that? Well, I'm going to the Sierras for a while. Bubs Creek and then across the upper turn to Wriggles and Splippers. Well, I didn't. Well, I left the cabin up at Cedar Grove in 1905. Old haircut smell. Next door, Woodwood, where I came out. The search, sweater, and stroll, and board, and concrete beam of unfixed junk downstairs. All emblems of the past, too close, heaped up in chilly dust and bare bold rain. Tables, wheelchairs, battered trunks, lamps, pots that boiled up coffee in 1910. Things swimming on their own, finally viewed a human mood, waiting a final flicker of desire. To coat them out once more, some freakish use. The master of the windowed rag-leg watches, making prices to the people selling by. The sag-ass rocker has to make it now alone. A few days later, drove with Rock down San Joaquin, us barefoot in the heat, stopped for beer and melon on the way. The giant orange rubber shreds of cast struck retreads on the covered shoulder highway 99. Sierras marked by cumulus in the used car, topic in the roads, 6,000 feet down to Kings River Canyon, camped at Cedar Grove, hard granite canyon walls of Weedmore Street. Once tried a haircut at the bar cars, too, sat half an hour before they told me white men used the other side. Goodville, St. Vincent de Paul,
Salvation Army up the coast with Mackinaws, boots, heavy socks. Seattle has the best of lager beer. Once found a pair of good trichonic boots under the at the market store. Mark Toby's soon pulling down I do Wilson jacket with a bird blood stain. AG and me got them clothes for almost nothing. No union going real well. We was on our way to work the limit at DC. Hitchhiking home. We can't got a ride. More on that later. Hiking up Bugs Creek, saw the trail through camp and stragged the grove at Creekside Lodge full time. Talked to the guy, he said, if you see McCool on the other trail through over there, tell him Moorhead says to go to hell. Late snow that summer, crossing the Star, Bear, Cheddar, Forester Pass, the winding rock, those switchbacks, bide and snowbanks, we climb on the pack trains have to dig the way. A half ice over lake, fill 1,000 feet of sterile boulder tank, filled with weeping trout. Reflections wobbling in the mingling circles, always spreading out the crazy web of wavelets makes sense seen high above. The realm of fallen rock of Ava world of sorts is high. It is a view that few men see. At point bare sunlight on the spaces, empty sky molded to fit the shape of what ice left. A fire thrust or a poker twisted, altered, cast out from the lava belly flow. The boulder in my mind's eye is a chair. Why has the man dragged over? King of hell, or is it a paradise of soul must feed, acting out the function of some creator carpenter, thrust on a thing, think he made himself an object always chair. Signature ritual histories is the mountain god akin to halting metrics of the which within good will, daughter of mountain steep, you rest on rocky mountain thunder steeps, hair tingling static of the lightning flashes, his nether world of love and wisdom, though this be danger, hence he hears some glowing girl whose slippery dance trances Shiva, the valley spirit on a heap of Sarasvati, dark and female gate of all the world, water that cuts back, quartz like sand, soft is the dance that melts the map-head mountain city, to weep in fire and make of sand a tree, a board, our years, somebody's rocking chair, a room of empty sun, with peaks and bridges, beautiful spirits, rocking Buddha's throne, universal junk, all left alone. The hat I always take on mountains. When we came back down to Oregon 3 years before, at nightfall in the Siskiyou, cars pass a big truck stopped 100 yards above. Siskiyou stone there on the side. The driver said he recognized my old green hat. I had a ride with him 2 years before. The whole state north of pitching down to Portland from Warm Straits. Allen, the rear on straw, we got salami and food on south all night. Many cars the first waiting on. Upper current river country now after 9 days walk. Finally rain. We ran on that other trail to setting up new camp in the grizzly home, cussing, snapping bugs. 4 days from road we saw McCool and he said to tell that moorhead, kiss my ass. We squatted smoking by the fire. I'll never get a green hat now. The foreman says, 50 mosquitoes sitting in the grill, they must have flew. 2 more days of thunder showers and cold on lifting air on them, pale, stinging hair legs and the blast of wind that yodel off the summit echoes through. All this comes after purity of the mountains and good wills, the diamond drill replacing ice melt waters and bumming trucks and ratching buildings raised, the garbage acres burning at the Out of the memory of smoking pine, devotion and the sifting glitter rises, chair turns, and in the double mirror later the old man takes me down and cracks a chuckle at where bumps boot their truck.
There's all the time in the universe and plenty of wide open space.
Hay for the Horses, from Rip Rap and Cold Mountain Poems. He had driven half the night, from far down San Joaquin through Mariposa, up the dangerous mountain roads, and pulled in at 8 a.m. with his big truckload of hay behind the barn. With winch and ropes and hooks, we stacked the bales up clean to splintery redwood rafters high in the dark, flecks of alfalfa whirling through shingle cracks of light, itch of hay dust in the sweaty shirt and shoes. At lunchtime, under black oak, out in the hot corral, the old mare nosing lunch pails, grasshoppers crackling in the weeds. "I'm 68, he said. I first bucked hay when I was 17. I thought, that day I started, I sure would hate to do this all my life, and damn it, that's just what I've gone and done."
"Behold, behold," the bowman said, with a fearful falling cry, while the man in black, with his blue jowls slack, like a fluttering moth came wheeling back from the pitiless velvet sky.
Reading from Gary Snyder's collection, Mountains and Rivers Without End, from the second section, poem called With This Flesh, Part 2, titled San Ignacio, Reed Creek. Senora Maria Lurie is 98 years old, rests in a dark, cool room at full noon. A century-old grapevine covers the house, Casa Lurie. She still tries to tell me what to do. Her daughter Rebecca lived 55 years in Los Angeles. Dagobert drives beer truck all day, every day, and some nights from Guerrero Negro to San Ignacio. Says the salt works at Guerrero Negro sell most of their salt to Japan. Rebecca plays a mandolin. I need some music down here. Dagobert trucks beer to ranches all through central Baja, over these rutted roads. I have 6 kids in Guaymas. I get over to see them 3 days a month. South of El Arco, a hummingbird's nest with 4 eggs, 4 Mexican black hawks, a caracara on the top of a cardon, a bobcat crossing the truck track at twilight, a wadi full of cheeping evening birds. Cats walk the fan palm roof. Her 2 sons are painters. I am a poet. You came down here to Baja for inspiration? Poeta? Yes, on these tracks. Rising early, dry leather, deep wells. Where we breathe, we bow.
Built back of old stones from old buildings. Old bricks and stones on even older stones, always changing languages, broken, tumbled, talus, slopes again.
Elk trails from left out in the rain. Ancient, world-old elk paths. Narrow, dusty elk paths, wide trampled, muddy. Aimless, wandering, ever-changing elk paths. I have walked you, ancient trails, along the narrow rocky ridges, high above the mountains that make up your world, looking down on giant trees, silent in the purple shadows of ravines. Above the spire-like alpine fir, above the high, steep slanting meadows where sun-softened snowfields share the earth with flowers. I have followed narrow twisting ridges, sharp-topped and jagged as a broken cross-cut saw. Across the roof of all the elk world, on one ancient wandering trail, cutting crazily over rocks and dust and snow, gently slanting through high meadows, rich with scent of lupine, rich with smell of elk dung, rich with scent of short-lived, dainty flowers. And from the ridgetops I have followed you, down through heather fields, through timber, downward winding to the hoof-churned shore of one tiny blue-green mountain lake, untouched by lips of men. Ancient wandering trails cut and edged by centuries of cloven hooves passing from one pasture to another. Route and destination seeming aimless, but charted by the sharp-tempered guardian of creatures, instinct. A god, coarse-haired, steel-muscled, thin-flanked, and musky. Used to sleeping lonely in the snow or napping in the mountain grasses. On warm summer afternoons, high in the meadows. And their god laughs, low and often, at the man-made trails, precise-cut babies of the mountains, ignorant of the fine, high-soaring ridges and the slanting, grassy meadows hanging over space, trails that follow streams and valleys in well-marked switchbacks through the trees, newcomers to the elk world. High above the elk walk in the evening, from one pasture to another, scrambling on the rock and snow, while their ancient wandering aimless trails and their ancient coarse-haired thin-flanked god laugh in silent wind-like chuckles at man and all his trails.
Walking back from the Dharma talk, summer dry madrone leaves rattle down. Give up, give up. Oh, sure, they say.
This is War of Dwarves and Birds Beyond the Sea by Gary Snyder. Feeble breakers, theft, loose kelp, slop, slopping in swarm of squid, a warm beach. Care, carry it in your head without words. We have ways, waves of talking about the sea. Apprehensive. Into the waste, the shy ones urinate in the sea. What we file, defile, is turnpike, sea snipe, drowned mudes, bird fright, a grammar of scattered cries. One tells a file, a system to the sea. This utterance is oblivious of the sea. Wet, of course, but water in the sea. It takes a net, a swatch of labels wagging with the jawbone. The sea is made tongue tickling, a rush of air behind the teeth, a high front moan. And now you understand.
Parking meter that won't take coins, a giant sprinkler valve, wheel locked and chained, a red and white fire hydrant, a young dandelion at the edge of the pavement.
Ripples on the surface from no nature. Ripples on the surface of water were silver salmon passing under, different from the sorts of ripples caused by breezes. A scudding plume on the wave. A humpback whale is breaking out in air up, gulping herring. Nature, not a book. but a performance, a high old culture, ever fresh events, scraped out, rubbed out, and used again. The braided channels of the rivers hidden under fields of grass. The vast wild, the house alone, the little house in the wild.
I don't know where it went, or recall how it worked. What one did, what the steps were. Was it the hands, or the words and the tune? All that's left is a flavour that stays.
The Trail from No Nature. We are free to find our own way, over rocks, through the trees. Where there are no trails, the ridge and forest present themselves to our eyes and feet, which decide for themselves in their old learned wisdom of doing, where the wild will take us. We have been here before. It's more intimate somehow than walking the paths that lay out some route that you stick to. All paths are possible. Many will work. Being blocked is its own kind of pleasure. Getting through is a joy. The side trips and detours, showdown logs and flowers, the deer paths straight up, the squirrel tracks across the outcroppings lead us on over, resting on tree trunks, stepping out on the bedrock, angling and eyeing, both making choices, now parting our ways and later rejoin. I'm right, you're right. We come out together. Matake, pine mushroom, heaves at the base of a stump, the dense matted floor of red fern needles and twigs. This is wild, we laugh. Wild for sure, because no place is more than another. All places total, and our ankles, knees, shoulders, and haunches know right where they are. Recall how the Tao Te Ching puts it. The trail's not the way. No path will get you there. We're off the trail, you and we chose it. Our trips out of doors through the years have been practice for this ramble together, deep in the mountains, side by side, over rocks, through the trees.
Mamulas on the cliffside in April, nuthatches in the summer pines, cranes calling south in September, winter pond ice crackling bright.
The Canyon Run by Gary Snyder. I look up at the cliffs, but we're swept on by. Downriver, the rafts wobble and slide over royals of water. Boulders shimmer under the arching stream. Rock walls straight up on both sides. A hawk cuts across the narrow sky, hit by the sun. We paddle forward, backstroke, turn, spinning through eddies and waves. Stair steps of churning white water above the roar. Hear the song of a canyon wren. A smooth stretch, drifting and resting. Hear it again, delicate downward song. Tee, 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 tee. Descending through ancient beds. A single female mallard files upstream, shooting the 100-pace rapids Su Tung Pao saw for a moment. It all stands still. I stare at the water. It moves with unspeakable slowness. Dogen riding at midnight. Mountains flow. Water is the palace of the dragon. It does not flow away. We beach up at China Camp between likes of stone, stacked there by black-haired miners, cooking in the dark sleep all night by the stream. These songs that are here and gone to purify our ears.
Faint new moon curl again in the west, blue eve, dear moving dusk, purple shade in a plant realm, 1,000,000 years of sniffs, licks, lip, and reaching tongue.
Spell against demons from Turtle Island.
The release of demonic energies in the name of the people must cease. Messing with blood sacrifice in the name of nature must cease. The stifling self-indulgence in anger in the name of freedom must cease. This is death to clarity, death to compassion. The man who has the soul of the wolf knows the self-restraint of the wolf. Aimless executions and slaughterings are not the work of wolves and eagles, but the work of hysterical sheep. The demonic must be devoured. Self-serving must be cut down. Anger must be ploughed back. Fearlessness, humour, and detachment is power. Knowledge is the secret of transformation. Down with demonic killers who mouth revolutionary slogans and muddy the flow of change. May they be bound by the noose. And instructed by the diamond sword of Akala, the immovable lord of wisdom, lord of heat, who is squint-eyed and whose face is terrible with bare fangs, who wears on his crown a garland of severed heads clad in a tiger skin, he who turns wrath to purified accomplishment, whose powers are of lava, of magma, of deep rock, strata of gunpowder in the sun. He who saved tortured intelligent demons and filth-eating hungry ghosts. His spell is Namasamanta, Vrajranam Shanda, Maharoshana, Spataya Homtraka Ham Nam.
It comes blundering over the boulders at night. It stays, frightened, outside the range of my campfire. I go to meet it, at the edge of the light.
Axe Handles by Gary Snyder. One afternoon the last week in April, showing Kai how to throw a hatchet 1/2 turn, and it sticks in a stump. He recalls the hatchet head without a handle in the shop, and gets it, and wants it for his own. A broken-off axe handle behind the door is long enough for a hatchet. We cut it to length and take it with the hatchet head and working hatchet to the wood block. There I begin to shape the old handle with the hatchet, and the phrase first learned from Ezra Pound rings in my ears. When making an axe handle, the pattern is not far off. And I say this to Kai. Look, we'll shape the handle by checking the handle with the axe we cut with. And he sees, and I hear it again. It's Lu Ji's Wen Fu 4th century AD essay on literature. In the preface, in making the handle of an axe, by cutting the wood with an axe, the model is indeed near at hand. My teacher, Shi Xiang Chen, translated that and taught it years ago. And I see Pound was an axe, Chen was an axe, I am an axe, and my son a handle, soon to be shaping again, model and tool, craft of culture. How we go on.
What history fails to mention is most everybody lived their lives with the friends and children, played it cool, left truth and beauty to the guys who tricked for big shots and were fools.
Like the sun, sunbest. Never bring me back. You wanted to ride wrapped in pain. Sting your kept me sane. You wish I never learned your name. Face for me, tendrils down that suck the flesh. Face for me. Open up my eyes. You wanted to ride round in pain. Sing a song, sing the same. Something instead that kept me sane. You wish I never learned your name. Berry parties, berry parties, berry parties in your name. You wish I never learned your name. You wish I never learned your name. Sing your song, sing your same. Something said that kept me sane. I wish I never learned your name. You wish I never learned your name. Berry parties, berry parties, berry parties in your name. You wish I never learned your name.
Walking back from the Dharma talk, summer dry madrone leaves rattle down. Give up, oh sure, they say.